Today's topic is what breaker blocks. So we'll be teaching what how to identify a breaker block, what is a breaker block, and how to trade what a breaker block. So remember, in the concept of supply or demand, we said demand is formed when a high is broken by a certain low, when price movement moves above what a high. Similarly, you can see from this image right here, there's a high here that was created, then there's a low. We see that price moves above that high, then we say what the low that created that breaking market structure above the high becomes what our demand. Then we expect for buyers to come and enter their buys where exactly at the demand zone to continuous buys to the upside. So in these terms now, a breaker block is going to be what a situation where now the demand does not get respected, then price comes and violates the demand, then it comes back to retest this demand as what is now a supply. This is logic follows what the one that describe what support changes into resistance or resistance changes into support. So a breaker block is formed when a demand fails to respect, then price breaks below the low, then it comes to retest this zone as a what as a supply. That's literally how you describe a breaker block. So let's just quickly go into a real life chart to see how you can identify. Okay, now let's see how a breaker block can be described on a real life chart. So we can see now there's a high, there's a low right there. Then we see there's this bar that moves above and closes where above that high right there. So what usually happens is that we say the low that created the breaking market structure becomes what the demand. So we can see that when price retraced into this area, it never touched it, just created some consolidations above, then it acted like it's going up, then it eventually came and broke what that structure right there. That is a demand zone. So in the future, when a demand fails like this, we can expect this zone to become a breaker block, a situation where price comes to retest that same exact demand zone as a what as a resistance right there. Then price continues to break what the lows now to the downside, confirming that price is now respecting what the bearish peak DRS. I hope that one is clear. Let me look for another quick example. Okay, let's look another example right here on a what a boom 1000 index of a breaker block. So we can see that there is a low, there is a high right there. Then we see price creates what a break in market structure right there to the downside. What do we expect as supply and demand traders? We expect for price to come to what to the high that created that break in market structure, particularly this high. Then we expect for sales to come from this zone right there. We expect for price to retrace in this zone to continue pushing sales to the downside. So what we see is that price comes here, you can see it completely breaks out of the supply right there, then it goes away. What it usually does is that it comes back to this zone which was supposedly supply, then it now uses this as a demand now. Typically like resistance changes into support, then we see the buy continue into the upside right there. I hope you like this video. Make sure you comment the topics that you want me to cover. Make sure you subscribe, you like. See you in the next video.